afternoon. Last Friday we saw what happened during the period of the First World War and the avant-garde with the origins of modernism in Europe between 1914 and 1940. Today we will see other nations like Russia, like Germany, like Switzerland, the Netherlands and France. So, during 1917, in Russia, when there was the revolution, artists working in the empire of the Russian Tsar come into contact with the main European avant-gardes, especially Futurism and Cubism. In this panorama, they react of the object and the representation of the natural element and transform the space in a radical way. So there is no longer any real reference to things, nature, figures, and so on. Kazimir Malevich was a Russian avant-garde artist best known for creating suprematism. A radical abstract art movement focused on basic geometric shapes and a very short color palette. Malevich develops the theory of suprematism, which negates all forms of pictorial, only the lack of nature or Venus, for example, or Virgins. Is pure painting. He works on the composition of pure forms in the space of the painting, as we can see in these pictures. The shapes are very, very geometric, the colors very vivid and colorful, organized in space according to random compositional rules. So, reference to reality is totally absent. So, according to Malevich, the colorful forms were to create an independent of a collective system and individual autonomy. So, the experiment was taken up because with the revolution there is a wish for a new Russian visual culture. The idea is to build a new society based on collectivist principles and a massive industrialization process, therefore changing the scale, the element of aesthetic. This makes architecture an industrial design to some movements such as the more famous constructivism. Constructivism was born by Tatlin and Gabo in 1915, so the movement highlights the technical structure of the artifacts and the functionality of each of their components as an expression of a true aesthetic nature. So the most famous artist of the movement is Alexander Rodchenko. Rodchenko is an architect, a designer, a photographer, and a researcher in the field of editorial graphics, geometric rigor, rejecting decoration, using typographic elements and assembling photos with collage. Collage is also used for book illustrations, as in the case of the poem Proeto by his friend Mayakovsky. Here we can see some images from the poem where Rodchenko plays with the elements through clear references to Dadaism and Futurism with a strong sense of fun. So Rodchenko's colleges display the potential of manipulating the pictures with the creative and compositional skill. After this step, Rodchenko highlights the graphic line that forms the foundation of his works, acting as their skeleton. For graphic works, especially in advertising posters, the elements are dynamic, indicating to the observer the word to be memorized, leading to the reading or indicating the direction of the composition. Here are a few examples. The first one is an advertising for Pelican on the left. Creating using the photomontage technique, and it is evident that the pen indicates the brand name. In the second one, on the right, the most famous one for a publishing house, Rodchenko plays a woman, his girlfriend, while calling out books for all in a certain way. So the ad blends photography and graphics drawing on the experiences of the avant-garde in this period. Now we can see what happened in Germany. So this one. What? Okay. Now there's problem. Okay, let me see. So you can see the presentation here, okay? Okay, at home, they will see other, okay?
We have our face on the...
Yeah. I know that. Okay. Yeah, of course. Okay. So in Germany, the spirit of experimentation is evident in the Bauhaus, the famous school of arts and crafts founded in Weimar in 1919. The school had a difficult story as a result of its modernity in relationship to the more conservative ideas of German politics, which is the reason why Bauhaus was closed in 1933. So artists, architects, and designers working in contemporary research and innovation teach at this school. Itten, Klee, Kandinsky, Breuer, and so on. So the school ideals with the major themes of modern design in a variety of areas such as the visual communication. So in 1925, Walter Gropius, director of the school, asked Herbert Bayer, professor of typography and graphic design workshop, to design a typeface for all official school communications. According to a functional approach, Bayer designs an idealistic font called universal font, without ornament elements and without capital letters. The design is an example of the form follows function rule that breaks with the classical tradition. The layout of periodicals, covers, posters, and books is also very close to architectural mood. Here is the famous poster designed by Smith, where geometric forms fit together like the structure of an architectural floor plan. So we see the floor plan of the Bauhaus building designed by Walter Gropius on the right. So other examples are the posters created, are the posters created for school exhibitions by Bayer or Kandinsky. So one can observe how all elements are arranged in space according to constructivistic logic with a particular reference to neoplastic colors. So the neutral background color is also frequent in these graphic works.
Sorry, we can't see a slide. We can't see a slides.
Okay, let me see. Now?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Now?
Yes, it's correct.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so in addition, there are also the Bauhaus Butcher design theory notebooks where the page is like a kinetic field and its different elements, text and images can be seen as a moving sequence. In Netherlands, in 1917, Theo van Desburg and Piet Mondrian found the magazine De Stijl, and the neoplastic movement was born. Visual modern abstract art with Mondrian in painting and Desburg in architecture. So the movement promotes the importance of the straight line and the rectangle as a new visual culture, rejecting the real representation of elements and exalting the geometric forms result of the orthogonal intersection of straight lines. Art is line, color, space, and these elements are found in various fields, including industrial design and editorial graphics. So the magazine De Stijl is based on the neoplastic concept as here with the periodical Meccano founded by Desburg in 1921. Another Dutch protagonist is Piet Zuard, who in 1917 is very close to De Stijl, even if it doesn't not join it, but it is close to his formal and linguistic research. His vision recalls realism and objectivity. Zuard worked as a designer, typographer, photographer, and industrial designer in the Netherlands in the 20s and 30s. Working mainly for the company NPF, he created many graphic design works before retiring from the company to spend the rest of his days as an interior and furniture designer. So here we can see some other graphics such as two posters for the series of cinematography date advertising for other brands. In the summer of 1931, Zwart also made a series of stamps for the Dutch Postal Service using the photomontage technique and create an image typical of contemporary times. So the composition is asymmetrical, the border is missing, and the space of the text is very simple. So the colors are also very vivid, and this method involves combining the multiple photographs to create a single image. The stamps were representative of contemporary times and reflecting advances in technologies and communications. So, up until the 30s, Switzerland made a significant contribution in the field of visual communication, especially in terms of typography and photography. So Switzerland develops a new visual capable of expressing new codes of symbols and new themes of visual language. Among the Swiss personalities is Hans Neuburg. He experiments with photographic distortion in a new and personal way, as seen here in the advertisement for Liebig. In this poster, Neuburg combines sans serif letters with a photograph taken and cut out at an angle. The words Super Bayonne are placed above the company name, which is also placed above the image of the product box, linking them together. So the text and the picture have a soft slant that challenges the rigid rectangle of the frame and producing an asymmetrical kinetic element. So the smiling young woman is also characteristic of many works of constructivism. So on the right, we see a poster created by Max Bill for the exhibition of Black Art, a reference in the history of the poster. So the surface is fully of elementary elements, and there are no symbols, only typographic elements with an optical and special tension. Herbert Matter, on the other hand, made a very important contribution to tourism advertising with these distinctive posters. Using photomontage and off-scale techniques, he created a visual solution that were impressive and innovative. Combining photos with bold typography and manipulating the scale of elements, Matter's posters communicate a sense of dynamism and modernity. His work, particularly for Swiss tourism in the 30s, helped to redefine graphic design by merging art with advertising, making destinations appear more attractive through his unique visual style. So in France, the Art Deco style populates the 1920s. In particular, posters, which become the favorite space for contemporary experimentation. We have seen how the poster becomes dynamic with the development of constructivism and Bauhaus. So in France, communication takes these innovations and works them into advertising messages. So Cassandre, Leroux, Carlo, Colin are the best French graphic designers because they use spatial and figurative elements from contemporary visual culture and interlace them with Cubism and Futurism. So Cassandra's posters are famous for his use of strong geometric shapes, bold colors, and powerful compositions. His works often include images with dynamic views that are engaging and impactful. This poster strikes the imagination of the public with essential and abstract figurations. So this poster is for a French newspaper, therefore offers an ideal opportunity to examine popular visual culture in a relationship with a wider social, political, and technological context. So Cassandra says that the poster must resolve three problems at the same time. One, optical, because the visibility is dependent on the balance of values in the picture. Graphic, with the image, is a vehicle of thinking and must be harmonic. And poetic, to provoke an emotion in the spectator. In the posters, we also see the equilibrium between the geometric structure, the figurative element, and the lettering, as in the case for Pivolo. Cassandra also works for North Express, where the space is exalted by a magical light. The point of observation is on the tracks. There is an horizontal line and the lower limit of the composition. From that point, the tracks take on a larger dimensions, and the perspective makes the convergence of the lines dramatic. So this composition for Wagon Bar is a symbolic and bidimensional composition very close to Cubism and Futurism to promote a bar on tracks for the French trains. Another very popular visual project by Cassandra is for sea cruising and shipping companies. Here too, there is the restringent composition, the detail that brings out the naval engineering, the perspective view that makes the ship look like a great floating rock. In 1927, Cassandra designs the Beaufort font, one of the most representative Art Deco typeface for an industrial foundry. The typeface is rhythmic and dynamic. So 10 years later, he's designed the Peignon, in which some lowercase letters are in reality smaller capitals. Finally, we see some works created for Daubonnet, a bistro where the figure is represented pouring and drinking wine. So Daubonnet is a famous French aperitif using sequential imagery to tell a visual story. So in conclusion, today we have seen the graphic styles and designs of several countries, Russia, Germany, Switzerland, Netherlands, and France between 1915 and 1940. Next time we will explore what's happening in Britain and the USA. So today the practical work is about the Bauhaus typography. You have to read a paper entitled A Combination of Simple Elements, the Universal Alphabet of the Bauhaus by Chiara Barbieri. You find the document to read on Classroom in the folder Bauhaus, and a document with some questions to answer. So you have to read the green part in English in this document and compile the document until the end of the class or the end of the day. if you want. You have to upload the file in PDF when you will finish this exercise. So give me 2 minutes to upload the material and good work. Okay, you can start.